You are Locked On Clemson, your daily podcast on the Clemson Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Clemson family? Welcome into the Locked On Clemson live stream as well as podcast. I'm your boy. You already know who it is, Damian Parson, a.k.a. on Twitter, DP_NFL. Welcome in. Want to give a quick instant reaction to what we just saw. 66-17 home opener, week 2. Your Clemson Tigers knocked off those Charleston Southern Buccaneers. Holla at me in the chat. You already know FTA for the algorithm. Hop into the chat. Let me know if you have any questions that we're going to talk about it, man. And, it looks like we already got a chat already in there. TG for life, youngin. What's up, brother? Yes, sir. Nah, big win in terms of just, and I think some people in the chat, in the YouTube comments, YouTube is, I thought Twitter was for trolls. There's a lot of trolls on YouTube, but I think one of the biggest things that people misconstrued what I talked about on the recent episode, I think it was on yesterday's episode, the preview of this game was simple. All I was saying was this is a game where the phrase in sports, winning cures all, right? Where you had teammates throughout history that did not like each other. But when they won games, it cured everything, right? So I think that was the big thing, is just coming out and just wanting to see how the offense responded after Monday. And I said it. I wanted to see Cade get into a rhythm. I wanted them to get the offensive passing game going, as well as dominate the trenches on both sides of the ball. And for the most part, guys, I'm going to say they did. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. Early mistakes. First drive, I think they went down and scored, right? Went up 7-0. And then when you look at, I got the scoring drives up, or the play-by-play up, and I watched the entire game. And when you went from, scoring wise, right? Like you had going up by 7. Then here, Charleston Southern 3 and out, no yards, they punt. 4 plays, 6 yards, you fumble off of just poor ball handling, things like that. Snap hits Cade in the hands, or kind of shoots straight through his hands and hit him in the chest. Ball fumbles, him and Maffa bump into each other and all that. Charleston Southern gets the ball back at the 1 yard. I think it was at the 1 yard line or something crazy like that. And they scored on one play. Well, then they get the ball back because they kicked the whole onside kick. I was like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? They're trying to give themselves a shot, right? And they recovered it. And then they went 3 and out. 3 plays, 6 yards, punt. And then the next play, the next drive, 9 plays, 61 yards, pick 6. So they go up 14. So they really, when you look at just the numbers aspect of this, guys, I'm going to tell you, team stats wise real quick. First downs, Charleston Southern had 4. They were 3 and 14 on third downs. They had total yards for the game offensively, 73. They had 73 total yards of offense, 61 passing, right? 3.8 yards per attempt. They threw an interception and all that. They only had 12 yards rushing. So I would say that Clemson dominated the trenches. And it was that interception, right? Like I said, early mistakes, the fumble. It's like, oh, here we go again. Come on, guys. We can't do this. I wouldn't say you can't do it against Charleston Southern. You can do that against Charleston Southern. As you can see, you can do those type of things and have those type of self-inflicted wounds, right? It's like, Monday night they shot themselves multiple times in both legs. Today, it's like, all right, I'm going to graze my calf, but I can still walk and run. I'm fine, right? I grazed my calf twice, right? I almost shot myself in the foot with that pick 6. And that pick 6, it was just, Cade has to understand you cannot be a superhero. You are not Captain America. Okay, you are not Thor. Don't be out here on on the Marvel kick and trying to be an Avenger. There's no need for that. There's no need. You got pressure, and I said this. I think it was yesterday's show, that he has to be better with pressure in his face. He's got to be better if he's going to deal with pressure, right? And that on that interception, the pocket's closing. On the out, especially on the outside, they got him kind of boxed in, caged in, and instead of Cade just throwing the ball away, taking the sack, what Pop say on Friday? You live to fight another day. Cade's out there nope. bow, bow. Like he's just like throwing shots all over the place. It's like, hey, what are you doing, bro? Like, relax. And he got himself in the rhythm and everything. But the early mistakes, man, like this, again, against Charleston Southern, it's fine. But I don't want to see this next week against Florida Atlantic, even though it's a team you can get away with it. But you build bad habits by getting away by using that as an excuse. Like, well, we're playing less competition, so we can get away with these bonehead decisions, man. And that's the thing, trucking mogul 100%, brother. We got to play better if we're gonna beat real teams. That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? You got to play better if you're gonna beat real teams. And that's what it becomes, right? Like just those bad habits and things like that. And TG for life. If we clean up the easy turnovers, we have the potential. We clean up those turnovers Monday, you're 2-0. You're 2-0 because the talent started to shine in the third and fourth quarters of those games. Same thing. Remember Monday night, Clemson ran more plays in Duke Blue Devil territory than the Duke Blue Devils actually ran the entire quarter. They ran more plays. So it's like, okay, they were dominant. They ran for almost 160 yards, right? Cade had some good throws, good reads, different things like that. Cut out the turnovers. Stop ramming your head into the wall trying to figure out why you got a headache. Like, that doesn't make sense. Just like a boxer going into the ring, it's like Mike Tyson going into the ring against an inferior competition. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that he's favored, but hey, go ahead and give me one clean one on the chin. Like, no, there's no need to. Don't give him any gimmies. And that's what we've done the both, back-to-back games, right? And stuff like that. And you got to clean it. So the early mistakes and everything was big, right? Because it gave them life. The pick six, like they scored 17 points. 7 of that came from the pick six. You take away the pick six, they only scored 10, maybe not 10. Because you know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the confidence to even keep going because they run a similar offense as Coastal Carolina with that kind of spread, RPO, inside zone, triple option type stuff. And it's built to stress defenses that are more talented than them because it makes you play disciplined football. But, guys, let me tell you something. Peter Woods, TJ Parker, my God. These youngins, those 2 freshmen, oh, yeah. They're the real deal, guys. They're the real deal. I saw Peter Woods just annihilate the interior offensive lineman play after play. TJ Parker getting in the backfield. I think he had like 4 tackles. I think 3 of them were for loss. Like, it just easy stuff. So the early mistakes on offense allowed the team. I expected, Dabble to like, hey guys, no, like we're not doing this again. No more of that, right? And then they rebounded. And when they rebounded, guys, I mean, you look at the numbers, man, and it's just staggering. 37 first downs, 6 of 12 on third down, 2 of 3 on fourth, 679 total yards from scrimmage, 405 pass yards, 274 total rush yards, right? Only 4 penalties for 30 yards. We talked about the 2 turnovers, the pick 6 and the fumble loss. Time of possession was 35 minutes to 24 for Charleston Southern, guys. At the end of the day, we saw what we needed to see, right? I talked about it. Let's rebound. Let's get into a rhythm, things of that nature. You started to see that. Listen, I want to shout out. I'm telling you, I got to shout out, the guys who played well, and Cade Klubnik, 28 of 37, 315, 4 total touchdowns. And you appreciate, and that was something that was talked about in camp from Coach Sweeney. Dabble Sweeney talked about this. He said, listen, he has a mental resolve. Like, if he makes a mistake, he bounces back typically. And you want to see that. You appreciate that about a young player. Now, these 2, week 1, Monday night against Duke, what did he look like? A freshman. Today, at times against pressure, he's young. He's young. He's locking in on reads. Guys, I'm telling you now, as an NFL draft analyst, this is the same thing we see in the NFL when rookie quarterbacks come from college. I promise you, I've studied every snap of Bryce Young this preseason, and there's plenty of reps where he's staring down one read. He's predetermining reads. It happens. I don't want anyone to jump off the Cade Klubnik bandwagon. Now, what I will tell you guys is this. And I remember seeing this on Twitter last season. I think I said it when I did the episode. For those who don't know, you can go back to the archives and find it when I went through the tape and said it was not DJU. It was not only DJU. DJU definitely played a part in the flaws of the 2022 offense. But I said it was not just him, right? And people thought I was crazy. People were like, nope, let's put Cade in. I said, listen, man. Then we get to the Tennessee. He comes in against North Carolina, looks great. Play Tennessee, doesn't look great at all. And then people are like, oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, it's not just a quarterback. There was a lot of things that went wrong. Cade is young. All right, so I'm telling y'all now, it's not just him. Yeah, he's young. He is truly a young player that is trying to find his footing with a ton of pressure on his shoulders, right? Yeah, everybody can't be Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence also didn't start his freshman year. Like, he didn't start, like, immediately. You know, remember it was like Kelly Bryant was the starter, and then Kelly Bryant, you know, didn't play well, and that's when they was able to put in with, you know, touchdown Jesus. But, you know, just give Cade time, guys. I think, unlike you think about Georgia and Alabama, some of these other teams, you know, not Bama specifically, but, you know, Georgia and some of these other teams, other schools, you know, Ohio State, all of them, like they got inferior competition back-to-back weeks. Right, Clemson had a tough matchup with Duke week 1. Then you get 2 cupcakes. Think about if Cade had 2 games, had Charleston Southern week 1, and if he had Florida Atlantic week 2. Then week 3 you have Duke or Florida State or whatever the case may be. Right, just you need just give him time. That's all I'm asking you guys straight up. I'm being honest with y'all. Just give Cade time, man. He's young, right? And you know, he's going to stare down reads. He's going to lock in and trust, you know, not come off of it. But that's some stuff you can coach, right? And then that goes to the film room. Garrett Riley and the QB coaches and everything, when you take him into the film room, you got to tell him, hey, look at this. Tell me, scout yourself and tell me what wrong on this play. And you look for the answer of Cade saying, I stared down my read. I didn't go through my progressions, right? I sped up my process. I predetermined pre-snap. I didn't read the defense. All those type of things. And if he answers those questions like that, you're happy about it as a coaching staff because you know that he is going to hold himself accountable. Where, you know, you got the thing in the NFL, Zach Wilson last year had a terrible game, and they asked him post game, hey, do you think you hurt the team? Absolutely not. Like, bro, you threw like 2 picks. You absolutely did. So, like, that's the big thing is just give Cade time. But I want to give a shout out to another guy, man, Bo Collins, 7 receptions, 137 yards in the touchdown. Man, like that first long catch, it was, you know, I think it only ended up being like a 20-yard play or whatever, but it almost went like 99 because it was like when Charleston Southern punted the ball into the, you know, inside the 2. And, you know, I think Cade got him on either a quick out route or a comeback route. And, you know, he stiff armed the corner, but that 1 foot stepped out of bounds. If he didn't, man, he would have taken it and had an even bigger game. But shout out to him, man, coming in and really having a strong contest. You know, like I said, 7 for 137, the catch and run. Now, one thing he can't do is, you know, I've seen NFL coaches being at practice and going to training camps and different things like that. I've seen NFL coaches cuss out an entire team and make them run sprints for doing stupid stuff like how he did today. On that touchdown catch, you know, you had the situation where he thinks he's by himself, doesn't look at the scoreboard, doesn't look at the monitor to see who's behind him. He thinks he's fine, and he starts to celebrate. And all that smaller defender that caught up to him had to do is peanut punch the football from behind. If he had to punch that ball out and it goes through the end zone, it's nobody's ball. Well, it's Charleston Southern's ball, and it's a touchback. So you want to, you know, coaching staff, pretty sure they're going to get on Bo Collins like, hey, yeah, we can't be doing that. Don't do that again. But overall, man, I think he played well. And I'm going to get into the film and everything because I know some stuff in this game, just watching from the angle that, you know, from the TV angle. One thing I noticed, like, and then watching the Duke all 22 is if you're going to face off coverage, I want to see those quick out routes, right? Because what you want to do is you want to force those defenders to drive towards your routes and everything. So what does that do then is that opens up double moves. Because then when you get DBs that are flat-footed, but they're standing in a back pedal stance, 1 foot behind, you know what I mean? You know, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, to where they can backpedal, trigger, and click and close. When you can do that and put them in that position where you know that they're going to want to click and close, then you can get them with a double move. You can get them with a pump and go, things like that. You know, you can pump the out route. hit them up, go take it up the top. So I want to see those type of things, man. So the offense rebounded, and I'm appreciative of it. Yeah, it's Charleston Southern, but at the same time, like I wanted them to get 70. I'm not gonna lie, they had a chance. They had a chance to get 73 points. I wanted them to do it, but Dabo, being Dabo, was like, nah, let's run the clock out, stuff like that. I'm like, nah, go for the juggler. You know what I mean? Show people we ain't nothing to mess with. But nonetheless, I think overall. I like what I saw from everybody, man. Like, the offensive line played better. Blake, the right tackle, still kind of. I saw him on the ground too many times. I really think that they should look that Florida State matchup. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not, going ahead of myself. I'm a little worried about him versus Jared Verse from Florida State, because the lack of power in pass reps, the lack of anchor, the lack of footwork and ability to redirect from Blake is troublesome, because what's going to end up happening is that if you don't figure this out, and truthfully, I'm not going to lie, if I'm Dabo, I might call an audible here, like I'm the quarterback, and I'll probably tell the O-line coach, we're going to start calling Sadler at right tackle. I'm just going to be completely honest. Like, I do not, if you want to beat Florida State in 2 weeks, I don't know if Blake Miller is going to help you at right tackle do that. Like, it's just too chaotic for me when I get anxiety watching him in pass protection and stuff. He's a good linear athlete, but man, I am so concerned about that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But the one thing, and when you talk about the offensive rebound, and I talked about this on yesterday's episode, I wanted to see more shots down the field. Did I get that in this game? No. So when I say better but need more, that's what I mean. I want to see shots down the field, because unless you're going to run double moves and stuff like that. Now, we'll give Garrett Riley credit for this, because Garrett Riley, I'm going to say this to you guys again. I said it on yesterday's pod. I'm going to say it live right now. This is Garrett Riley's offense. He's controlling everything. A lot of people trying to put it on Dabo. No, this is all on Garrett. Everything that's happening is Garrett. Now, if Garrett, what I need to see from Garrett is simple. I need him to basically expand this passing tree, this concepts. Expand it. You got the space and everything, but guys, you got to attack down the field, man. If teams are going to go one-on-one, right, play off coverage, give you soft coverage, 5-6 yards of cushion, things like that. I love the way what opened up Bo Collins on the slant was he motioned Antonio Williams behind the line of scrimmage into the flats, basically going up the sideline, right? And so he's got a running start. He can go, work right around the DBs and get to the sideline and take it up. And you can see it mess with the eyes of the safeties, because they're what we call it, window dressing. Give them eye candy, right? So you gave them eye candy and they bit on it, and that allowed that slow, like their feet were slow. They weren't sure what to do until should they crash down? Should they work back over the top? They didn't know. So it's like pulling levers, and that was a great job manipulating those safeties and everything, allowing Bo Collins to get free. And then, he was able to take it to the house on the catch and run. But more of that, right? Because what you can do is natural rub plays, different things like that. The motion. If you have concerns about the receivers getting open against man-to-man coverage, tight man-to-man coverage, that's when you start using those things, right? I saw some Jake Brenningstool, right? We saw some sighting of Jake Brenningstool being a big body, and he almost came down with that tough catch. He's a big, strong kid, because that safety tried to take him out. He tried to take him down, and he broke up the pass, but Jake was just kind of still standing there like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? But that connection between him and Cade seems to be growing and everything like that. And Cade, listen, guys, Cade has the arm talent to make some incredible throws. Okay, I watched it. He had there was a play. I can't remember who he threw it to, but the anticipation was so good, and I was like, okay, Cade, that's it. But I'm telling you guys, it's just the same way I talk about rookie quarterbacks in the league. It's just reps. It's just reps, timing, getting the speed down. Right, when he feels like the game is slowing down for him, the faster he's going to play. But he's going to need those reps. And could that cost you against Florida State? Right, if he's still not seeing it quick enough, yeah, truly it could. But at the end of the day, you just got to take it for what it is and allow him to gain everything he needs to gain out of it. Let's check the chat real quick and see what's popping off in the chat. Big game Cade, for the most part, went through his progressions. Yeah, and once he got into a rhythm, TG, Like he looked better. Once he got into a rhythm, I think he looked better. I still don't like all the passes at the line of scrimmage, but I understood what they were doing. They were stressing them horizontally with the tempo. So it's like once we get 5 to 7 yards, boom, another screen to the opposite side. You're making those guys run east and west, and they like I think the commentary team talked about it's Charleston Southern. They don't have a lot of depth, behind their starters to where if guys get tired, they're bringing in another 4 or 5 star recruits like Clemson can do that. So that's not the case. See, Walt, what's up, baby? You said I've been saying people need to give Cade time just like they did DJ. 100%. You know what I mean? Like when I can't remember, it was the Syracuse game. I'm a big DJU believer. Like I love his physical tools and talent. And from everybody I've talked to, he's an awesome person. The team loved him. Players loved him in the locker room, all that good stuff, right? But I think it was the game against Syracuse last year where he was just clearly not good. I called for them to bench him. I said, bring Cade in. It's just, you just can't do it. You can't keep playing like that, man. So it is what it is. Abito, what's up, man? The amount of stress I had to go through watching the Duke game in the first half of this game is unreal. I'm sorry that they stressed you out, man. Nah, I'm with you though. I'm with you. It was a little annoying. You know what I mean? I wasn't even like nervous or stressful. It just was annoying. It was just like, come on, man. Because it's you hurting yourself. You know what I mean? It's like it's you literally hurting yourself again and again and again. So you want to see them do better with that. Let's see, Michael. Fair enough on taking time with Cade. However, he and the Clemson offense have a lot of improving to do if they stay in chance 100% of defeating Florida State in 2 weeks. 100%. That pass rush, that defensive line is real. And that's why I said you got to back guys off and create more space in the intermediate. Because I'm telling you guys, the throws that Cade was making Monday between the hashes and the intermediate, in the intermediate portion of the field, the 10 to 19 yard range, he was good in that area. The anticipation, the arm talent, the ability to drive throws, he's got to get protection, and he's got to trust the protection, and he's got to make sure his mechanics, his anytime you see his passes start to flutter, they get too high, watch the replay, watch his feet and his upper body. If they're not married together, they don't mirror one another, right? You want to step in that lead foot. You want to be able, that foot and that hip has to be pointed towards your target. You call it being, shout out to JT O'Sullivan, who played in the league. He calls it dovetailing, being ready and lined to throw at your target. And Monday night, there was a couple times where Cade was not dovetailing. He wasn't lined up, and he double pumped. He held the ball. He took a sack, or the ball was incomplete. So they got to get some things, they got to get some things going. Mike says, and I'm still not impressed what I've seen from Adam Randall. I don't think they've really, I said that earlier this week. I would use Adam Randall like A.J. Brown for the Philadelphia Eagles. In breaking routes, crossers, in cuts, right? The deep in cut, 10, 15 yards upfield, in cut, slants, the glance right off the RPO, right? Because one thing about Cade, when he's in rhythm, that RPO game is good because he shows it in the mesh point, flips his hips, gets his shoulders open, boom, nice core, and he can launch it. So they gotta put Adam Randall. He blocked very well in the screen game and stuff today, but they have to put this young man in opportunities where his skill set thrives. Throwing him screens is absolutely not a good idea. All right, he's 6'2", 6'3", 230. I'm not throwing this big dude screens. Correction. If I'm throwing them screens, I'm thinking like kind of T.O., Randy Moss's, those big receivers that we see, Julio Jones, stuff like that, where you throw them a smoke screen. You got one-on-one. There's not trips to that side where it's multiple defenders. It's him and it's a defender. So that's when you want Cade to come to the line of scrimmage. You see that there is a defender 6 yards off. He's giving soft cushion. Easy money. Throw the smoke screen to him. Now you get the ball quickly on target to your big body wide receiver against a defender, not a nickel, but an outside corner. Some of them are still built like nickels. Put them out there, and all you have to do is, in that case, then that's when you see Adam Randall get to be the big physical beast that he is. But throwing screens and stuff, like just tunnel screens, wide receiver screen, no, that is not it. Let's get him going. Get that big Mack truck rolling, baby. Get him rolling and give him some momentum. But I do agree, Mike. I want to see more. I don't think it's him. I think it's just how they're using him. Let's see. Jesus. Seaway said FSU will make or break Cade and this offense. I mean, I agree. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out, right? This could be a game where this could be Duke Clemson, where people are favoring. And I think the spread from FanDuel Sportsbook, shout out to our partners at FanDuel Sportsbook. I looked at it earlier this morning. If I remember correctly, now granted, it's 2 weeks out. Florida State's already, now this is a away game for Florida State. They're already a 3.5-point favorite. I think almost 4-point favorite. So I think that's probably going to climb. They have a game today later on this season. They're probably going to dominate that school. It's like some small school. They're going to dominate them, and then the spread will go up even more. So 100%, there's going to be a game, but it could be a Duke Clemson, just reverse where Clemson's playing the role of Duke and hosting that game. I want them to put that at night. Put that game at 8:00. ABC, whatever, 8:00. Right? Get them running down the tunnel. Make Florida State come into a very hostile environment where it's hard to make checks and calls, stuff like that. Let's put that pressure on them and see really how good they can be, man. But I do agree, C-Way, it's going to make or break this off. We're going to really know what this offense is going up against Florida State. Checking the chat, TG for life. Tyler Brown. Oh, yeah, bro. Like Tyler Brown, I want him to get more on the field. And quick shout out to Antonio Williams. Well, he had 5 catches, I think 50, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns early in the game and everything. And I feel like they could have got him the ball a little more and whatnot. So that's what I said. Down the field, man, I want slot. He's in the slot a lot. Yeah, he had 5 for 64, average almost 13 yards per attempt, per catch. His longest was almost 30. He had 2 touchdowns. Well, they got to push the ball, and find creative ways of doing it where you have him in the slot. You're running, slot fades. Run some slot, some skinny posts out of the slot, right? Post corners. Now, those type of routes do take timing. It do take time in the pocket. So that means the offensive line has to do their job. So Blake Miller needs to consistently get it together. But but I like Tyler Brown, man. He is quick, twitch, explosive, dynamic. Only 2 catches for 9 yards, but you see some things, right? And the guys, can we talk about the run game real quick? Like, how many, like this run game, guys? There's about 7 running backs in this backfield. Okay. You know what I mean? And I think it's, so I already knew that Dominic Thomas had a really strong camp. I knew that, talking to people out there, I knew he had a really strong camp. But this young man, Keith Adams, they call him Quadzilla or whatever, number 19, 5'9", 220. Yes, that young man. Oh yeah. Like tough. That run where he ran over the safety, I thought the kid was going to end up having a concussion, man. So, but at the end of the day, I think this run game is going to be tough all season, and they got a multitude of backs. And truthfully, I don't mind getting all those backs involved. You know what I mean? Give all those guys. So yeah, you get Shipley and Maffa, but changing the pace, changing the momentum, changing everything where you're used to dealing with the defense is used to Shipley and Maffa, and then you bring in Adams, who is vertically, he's a one-cut runner, dynamic vertically, but physical in terms of how he runs. You're talking about being able to punish guys. I love his style. But the run game is, it really has me going. I like the run game. Chuck Weeks, shout out to you, brother. What's up, man? Didn't fix everything, but did show in the second half what we could do if we hold on to the ball. Chuck, come on, man. Come on. Talk to me. That's what I'm saying. Man. Like, Jesus, just hold on to the ball. Don't fumble. Don't throw it into. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When Cade threw that interception, the moment it left his hands, I said, "This is a pick 6." Because I saw the defender just sitting there. I was like, "This ball's not getting to the sideline," because he's like fading away like Dirk Nowitzki, and he got hit. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is a pick." And it was a pick 6. But I agree. Like, once you hold on to the football and you convert red zone trip. Think about that concept, guys. Converting red zone trips to touchdowns. Who would have thunk it? Huh? Who would have thunk it? If we did that Monday night, we win and we're 2-0. I'm just saying. I'm trying not to keep going back to that, but it is what it is. Cade should be on the short string. Butterfingers on snaps and can't progress through reads consistently. Hunter Helms looks sharp every snap. Hunter Helms also is coming in a blowout league. I hear you. Give Cade some time. But it's different when it's different when the pressure's on you as the starter, when you're the one game planned for, right? Things of that nature. Like that's where it's different, man. That's truly where it's different. And honestly, like I said, I don't have no problem with Helms, but it's just allow Cade to grow, man. You gotta let him grow, because he's a talented kid and he can make all the throws, he can make plays with his legs. I still want to see them run less of the zone QB read and QB keepers and all that. Just listen, QB draw, stuff like that, cool. But just be careful because Cade's still trying to get used to reading and dealing with the speed of college football. It's different when that backside end in high school can't catch you. But some of these ends in college are actually bigger linebackers, and they're running 4.5s. And they got a short, they have the leverage leg up on you. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to see them use that less until he's really, really comfortable with reading and diagnosing what's going on. But shout out to you, Lee. Appreciate you tapping in. TG, can we get Jake more involved? I don't know if he's not getting found or not getting open enough. I would say this offense isn't going back to what they did at TCU. Like they're Wiley, who's the big 6'7", 260-pound tight end for TCU. For some reason, Garrett Riley didn't call a lot of plays for him either. And he's a talented dude, just like Brenningstool. Brenningstool is, of course, a better athlete and everything. But I agree with you. I want to see them, like when I watched the tape from Duke, the All-22, I feel like Brenningstool got open enough for what he was asked, but I want to see more quicker concepts. Like today I saw a quick button hook, a quick sit down, quick hitch. Do those things. Get the ball out. Those type of things will then force the coverage up, which then you can shake route, right? Quick, it looks like a quick hitch. He turns, pivots, boom, and then snaps back out and keeps going that same direction. K hits him in stride, and now that's a 10 to 20 yard play with ease. So it's still a lot of kinks, to work out that Garrett Riley has to do to figure out what's working and what doesn't. Let's see, Shorts Plug, what's up, man? Thanks for tapping in. It would have been 66-3 if it wasn't for the turnovers. 100%. No, actually, it probably would have been in the 70, maybe 80 range if those two turnover drives that you don't turn the ball over. Well, not the interception, but it probably would have been a 70-point game. For that fumble, if they keep that drive going again, force them to punt like they did all game. Like it was just kind of, the defense did their job, right? The offense got to stop shooting themselves in the foot and putting the defense in tough situations. What's up, John? Stellato played like a man on the mission. He was aggressive. He was, and I liked it. I liked what I saw. Because at the end of the day, the defense, I have no problem. I think the defense is going to play physical. Offensive run game is going to play physical as well. I need the passing game. I need these big receivers to play like big body receivers. Get these guys up out of here. You know what I mean? If these guys hold on. I'll say something in a minute. But like these DBs they want to, like, typically you don't press a big body receiver because big body receivers typically want you to so that they can throw you out of the club. So you come up there. I played cornerback growing up. I know a lot of CB trainers and everything like that. I'm cool with a lot of guys in the league. You get up on a big body receiver and get your hands in, all they're going to do is this number here and just go ahead and toss you to the side, throw that hand up, easy money, right? So you typically want to soft press them, soft shoe, where you're off and you're not trying to press them. You allow them to get vertical, get a quick jam, and you get hip to hip and try to squeeze into the sideline if you're on the outside. So that's a little bit of Coach Dame there. It's a little bit of Coach Dame. I try not to go too far into that sometimes, but it's not easy. But so I think that's the main thing. Stellato, man, we got some big body receivers. I just want all those guys to play physical, play aggressive, because when you do that and guys are in your hip pocket, get your hands on, throw away, stuff like that. Be physical with them. To where it starts calling and start getting DPIs, because when you do a nice little chicken wing or slight little push off or swipe by, guys are going to grab the shirt, grab your pads, stuff like that, and you start getting the DPI calls, and it's a spot foul or 15-yard penalty in college football. So we'll see. Chuck says if the starters can't get it done, threaten their performances with others more hungry than they are. Dabo always said play the best man. Loyalty sometimes doesn't make sense. And I'm going to tell you, I 100% agree with that. Loyalty in college football needs to stop. I've seen too many times where you have a more talented freshman and the coaching staff says, let's go with the senior. Let's give him his swan song. I don't care about that. Okay? I don't care about that. Like, let's win games. That's what we're here for, to win games and try to get to the college football playoffs, right? Shout out to WX Watcher. Yo, you're right. I got him flipped up. Dominic is Squadzilla. Keith is the sledgehammer, the hammerhead. Appreciate you for correcting me on that. But nonetheless, guys, I think it was a good showing, especially in that second half. 28 unanswered points in the third? That's big. again, so what did we see if we learned anything, right, from the first 2 weeks? The third quarter, this team, the offense can pick it up. They can pick it up. They can put it together. And I think that's a good sign. That's a really good sign in the second half, to come out of the second half and be able to put your best foot forward. And I'm, before I get out of here, thoughts on Bo? I think Bo has done good. I think Bo has done a good job. Like I said, he understands how to snap routes off at the top and create separation against off coverage. And I just want to see them use him more for his big body, man. He's like a power forward out there. Him and Adam Randall. I didn't see much of Cole Turner today. I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't see a lot of Cole, and I wonder what's up with that. And I'll be scouring the airwaves to see what's going on, but I don't recall seeing a lot of Cole Turner today in the game. But I want to see those big body receivers be big body receivers, right? And Bo Collins is a guy, post them up, slants, in breakers, mesh concept, mesh rail. That's what I want to see. I want to see that mesh rail. For those who don't know what that is, just mesh concept, two crossers, running back out of the backfield, runs a wheel. And I want to see that happen with he was out. Okay. So I'm about to say I didn't see him today. So I was very because I really like Cole. For anybody who's been tapped in with me since the beginning, I really think Cole could be a big X factor for this offense. But yeah, back to the mesh rail. I want to see them use that with Will Shipley, the wheel route out of the backfield. Right, so you start hitting them with the mesh concept, quick dump off, stuff like that, and then what that does is force those safeties and everybody else to kind of charge forward. You get that rail concept, that wheel. Now you got him one-on-one with a linebacker. You lob it over the top, one-on-one down the field, and you make magic with it, guys. So we'll see, man. I'm excited for next week. I think next week could be big. I'm contemplating, do I want to go to that game? I'm trying to get the media credentials for Florida State because that's the game I really want to go to is the Florida State game. But I might try and get some tickets and go to or get my credentials and go to the Florida Atlantic game. We'll see because I do like being able to jump on live right after the game because I live about 30 minutes away from campus. So I do like to jump right in and be able to talk to you guys about what's going on. So we'll see what happens. But man, listen, I appreciate everybody for tapping in. TG, Mike, WX Watcher, Chuck, everybody that's in here. Let's see. I think Sheridan Jones. No, I'm glad somebody is noticing. Sheridan Jones is having a good start to the season. He's been pretty good in coverage. I think he only gave up one play last week, Monday, that was over like 20 yards or something like that. But I think overall, I think that we're going to be fine in that regard. Nate Wiggins, man. Big Nate. Okay, Nate Dogg out there balling, man. A lot of people, I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm a draft analyst, so I get paid to do that too, as well as this podcast. I'm going to be telling people about Nate Wiggins the more this season goes on as we get closer to the 2024 NFL draft, because people need to know that Clemson has some under-the-radar prospects. Shout out to Will Putnam, okay? Shout out to Will Putnam. Your center, baller. You know what I mean? Baller. Do you think FAU defense can press our O-line and Cade more than – yeah, no, they can. No, they're more talented. They're more talented. No, 100%. But I think, with Tristan Lay, the offensive line is talented, John. It's all about making sure Blake can hold up his end of the bargain. Him and Walker Parks, both of those guys have to do better. Like, you know what I mean? Well, I think Walker was better today, but that tape from Monday was rough, man. It was rough. For that right side, I believe about 12 to 14 pressures came off the right side of the offensive line, truly. So that has to change. They got to fix that. And play more physical on that side of the football. Maybe start sliding Will Putnam over to help Parks out and everything. But Walker Parks out, so we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Chancey, get out of here. Okay, get out of here with that. Don't bring that in here. Don't bring the negativity. All right, man. I asked because our O-line is still aren't up to par yet. Week 4 could be brutal if they 100%. They got to get it together. That's why I said you might want to look at starting Colin Sadler or getting him into the game sooner, because if Blake Miller is not going to be able to redirect and change directions and recover, if he's beating around the edge, guys, he's typically just beat, and that's tough. But he goes forward, cool. I will say one thing. I did see less of the GT counter today, and I hope to see less and less of it because it's not a good play for this offensive line. It's just just let these boys fire off the ball. We don't have to do all that pulling and all that crap. Especially when you have lumbering athlete like Blake Miller at right tackle. That's not his thing, man. Let him fire off. Let him go forward and everything like that. But guys, listen, we've been here 40 minutes. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. Be on the lookout for I'm gonna go through and kind of, like I said, watch tape and everything when it drops and everything. I'll bring, what have I learned and all that good stuff. Go through more of the, when PFF drops the analytics, I gotta try to bring that advanced analytics to you guys as well. Pressures in terms of defense as well as thing, and I really get into the defensive side of the ball in the pass rush and what I've seen through 2 weeks. So we'll talk about all of that on Monday, guys. But listen, if you're new here, like I said, hit like on this video. Everybody that's watching, hit like on the video, comment, for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit the bell notification. Go to the audio podcast. Do the same thing. Leave a 5-star comment, man. A review and everything. Show your boys some love, and let's have a great season. Tell a friend about this Clemson football podcast. Let's get this YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers. But nothing but love from me to y'all. Hey, Victory Monday. We got Victory Monday. We're going to have a great rest of the weekend. Y'all watch some NFL football tomorrow, and y'all have a good weekend.